CCC by New Dimension Media, the new leader in video on demand. For information, please visit our website at ndmccc.com or call 1-800-633-5633.
To commemorate the 20th anniversary of its Technology and Learning Conference this year, the National School Boards Association started a new program called 20 to Watch, which identifies and honors emerging leaders in the school technology field. Ann Flynn, NSBA's Director of Educational Technology, explained the thinking behind the program.
There are so many wonderful people who have spent so much of their careers dedicated to helping the education technology movement grow and take root. And we can name so many of them, and frankly, many of us refer to the same people over and over again. At some point, those folks are going to be retiring. There are wonderful people out there doing terrific things right now, but who have just never really emerged on the national scene. And we thought that looking forward for the next 20 years, that it was time to really try to identify some of that new talent.
NSBA put out a national call for nominations, and a panel of EdTech experts chose the final winners. eSchool News sat down with 3 of the winners to talk about their school technology initiatives.
ALTEC is the Advanced Learning Technologies and Education Consortia. It is out of the Center for Research on Learning at the University of Kansas, and it's actually involved in several processes, but its overarching goal is to support teachers as they integrate technology into their work with students. And then another role that ALTEC plays is a partnership with the Kansas State Department to help run and manage the Title IID initiative in Kansas that's called Tech Rich Classrooms.
North Kansas City passed a huge bond referendum for technology in 1996. That was, our board had supported technology, and we had several board members at the time that believed that that was a way that we could truly impact instruction.
We're a relatively small district, 3,300 students, right outside Philadelphia in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. And our big initiatives that we're focusing on in the classroom is number one, giving teachers the instructional tools to engage students, motivate them through the use of multimedia. And we've kind of coined the name e-classrooms, is what we call those classrooms, smart classrooms, like they have in colleges, where we're putting ceiling-mounted projectors, speakers, and electronic whiteboards.
Currently, we are funding 10 grants that impact 4 classrooms for each of those grants. It's been a very powerful project because it not only brings technology into these elementary classrooms across the state, but each grant supports a personalized facilitator that works very closely and very directly with the 4 teachers that are supported by that grant, so that they're able to experience professional development right there in their classroom, just-in-time learning, you know, and very personalized and individualized.
All of our principals carry a cell phone with a Palm device, and serves them in a variety of ways. We started at it from the view of safe and secure, and that they needed a mobile device to be able to communicate in times of emergency. We've interfaced that with our student information system so that those students, or so that that principal, no matter where they are, have full access to the student information, whether it's an emergency contact number, it might be a locker number of a student that's maybe lost in the hall, it might be a class assignment, it might be allergy medicine. If the student's having a seizure, we need to know, if there's a medical condition involved. So all of that information about our student information system is on the principal's handheld as they go.
The way we started that program was by readiness. Teachers would apply for they would apply for these tools. And so we would grant the equipment, get it installed in their classroom, and then we put together some professional development called Teaching in Your E-Classroom. And they would attend that. What I noticed that the benefit of that, it's rolled out over a course of a couple of years, and now we have 200 classrooms that are these e-classrooms. The benefit of doing it that way was the teachers were interested. And it started to grow from there. The interest grew every year, and they did the marketing. It wasn't us forcing technology upon that or upon them.
20 to Watch leaders cited common themes as the reasons for their success. Among these were leadership, training, support, and the involvement of stakeholders in key decisions.
One thing that's really come out of the first few phases of the grant is the importance of the leadership for the project. We can't emphasize enough the importance of training principals, encouraging them to support the process, and actually helping them support their understanding of why you would need technology infused into one learning environment rather than distributed across the building, so that truly the integration of that technology is seamless and it's routine and it's just a natural evolving process of how we learn.
Probably some of the things that we've done that have helped us been the most successful with technology or the support that we've provided for it. We believe that the box won't do anything by itself, that our teachers and students need to be taught how to use it and infuse it into the classroom. So from the early stages, since we were funded from substantially by technology, we've had technology coordinator facilitators in all of our secondary buildings. So it's a full-time release staffed person. That makes my job so much easier because when we come up with the ideas and the strategies that we think will improve instruction, we've got a means to implement it at the building level.
I think it's just staying vigilant in terms of making sure the equipment's reliable, dependable, that there's support there when they need it. And also, I'd add one more thing on there, is to really understand what their needs are, what their population in the classroom is like, what kind of resources they need.
We involve our stakeholders. We're a shared decision-making based district, and whether it's, if it's a curriculum piece of technology, then that means the curriculum director and myself and people that are involved, the teachers, are all a part of that team that's looking for the solution and implementing the solution. If it's HR finance, then the CFO is working with me on that project or his designee. So again, whatever we're looking at, it's not technology for technology's sake. It's what are the users and the stakeholders that need the technology and their involvement in the process from the inception through the implementation.
The big thing that we focus on are the instructional tools, the resources available, and then trying to link those resources to lessons. So they come with lesson ideas, objectives they have for their classroom, and then trying to find ways in which these multimedia resources impact their teaching.
The other thing that North Kansas City has tried to do in the technology arena is, one, we've standardized on technology from the get-go. From 1996, after we had the large infusion of dollars, our board really directed us to standardize all that we do so that our hardware technicians aren't learning how to repair 3 different kinds and models and PCs. Our teachers aren't learning 3 different kinds of software to do the same thing. So it really makes a lot of sense from a financial and an efficiency standpoint if we're standardized. The other thing that we do is build relationships with the standardization as an opportunity to build relationships with vendors. And I think that gives us an opportunity to help direct software and hardware as it's being built and give some impact in what we need in education, the kinds of systems we put together. And I think that North Kansas City has a voice with several of those manufacturers.
We're of course working really hard to make this a grant that's not just about technology, but that it's about student learning and student learning in the core content areas. So we see it more as a school reform model that just happens to use technology as one resource that's part of that change.
What we found last year when we introduced the program to the kids, that this year they would be given a computer, we thought their response would be overwhelming, jump for joy, excited, I get to play with a computer. And what we found was that they were so used to, unfortunately, by their senior year in high school, they were so used to just passively taking in their learning that they weren't as excited because they saw this as more work. And that became the clincher for us, that, oh, okay, we definitely have to give them laptops now. We need to get them involved in active learners and they're actively engaged in their learning.
For the list of 20 to watch winners, see the Conference Information Center at eSchool News Online.